Welcome to the tutorial for sample lesson number 4, Main Idea with Supporting Details. In this lesson, as you can see, we have part of a passage. We have an answer bank on the bottom this time. We have a graphic organizer for the main idea and supporting details. We have a text box that says this space not needed. Some passages you'll need all 4 supporting details, and some you would only need 3 spaces. So let's look to see what this lesson will look like when the students click it and begin the lesson. If we move the student had read the passage, now they have to read the main idea and supporting detail choices. And if the way that it's set up now, if I put Mr. Brown in the supporting details, Mr. Brown is a great teacher, which we know is really the main idea. It gives the wrong sound, and a student would be able to move it to maybe the main idea and then get it right. Then he knows that these 3 are going to just fit anywhere. He doesn't really even have to read them because he knows once he gets the main idea set that he just drags the other ones up. So when I show you how to create the lesson, I'm going to change the grading method, and we'll see what that looks like later. So let's see how I created this lesson. After you log in, you'll come to your mentoring tools and features page, and you'll see your launch tiles. You go to the launch tile called Lessons, and the first choice is create a lesson. First thing they want to know is what title. So I'm going to put tutorial, and I'm going to put MI and SD for supporting details. This is going to be English Language Arts. Let's call this a 3rd grade lesson. There will be a help file because even though it's called a help file, that's where the passage will be held, and that's going to be Mr. Brown. The lesson can be repeated. The delivery method is going to be interactive because the students are going to take choices out of the answer bank and put them into the appropriate box. I really don't think it's appropriate for competition arena. I definitely do not want the answers to show at the start. I do need an answer bank, and it's going to be at the bottom. And I do not want to include a timer, because this is not a racing kind of activity. Right now, the grading method, the way I showed you, would have been on interaction, and there would have been enable audible responses. If they had it wrong, it was going to be a beep, and if they got the answer right, it was going to be a bell, and then applause would be if they had a perfect score. But I'm going to change this to on button press, and I'll show you the difference. And I'm going to just not have any audible responses. And I'm going to continue to the composer page, which is our lesson surface. And as you see, the answer bank is at the bottom, just like we ordered. And here is our lesson surface. We know we have to put a multi-line text box here. So why don't we go ahead and put that in first. Here are the widgets. These are our choices of things to put on the lesson surface. We know that is going to be a text box. These 2 are text boxes, but this one has a plus, and we're going to click on that one. That means it's going to be more than 1 line, and we're going to call this the passage. and we're going to click into the text, and I have copied and I'm going to now paste the part of the passage. I'm going to set the width, and I'm going to set it for 250 and height 270. And we're going to have the color be just white background, and we'll have a border with a gray color around it. The family is going to be Arial. The size would be, say, 16. We don't really want it bold, but we'll use black. And we update the widget, and there is the passage. So now we can drag this over here, and if we need to adjust this, once we get our graphic organizer here, then we can easily do that, no problem. So now we see that this has a blue dashes around it, which means this is an active widget. We can't add anything else to the lesson surface until we deselect it. So the way we deselect it is go to the second tile and click it, and now it's deselected. Now it looks like this is outside of the border, so we might need to reduce the size of this font. We're going to do that by going up to the toolbar, Desired Widget, and we're going to go to the passage. We named this multi-text box Passage. We're going to go to the first tile over, and that's Select. And all we have to do is change the size to 12 and update the widget, and we have plenty of room now. We might even go to 14, and we will deselect it, and now we need to find our graphic organizer. We go back to our widgets choices, and the graphic organizer would be the one with the easel and the picture. We're going to click on it, and we're going to call it just MI. Nobody else will see this, so you could name it anything you want. And we see that this is a placeholder for blank graphic organizer, but we actually want the boxes for main idea and supporting details. So we're going to go up to the desired widget, and we are going to click main idea and select, and we're going to choose the type of graphic organizer, and it's going to be main idea and supporting details. We have a few choices. We have main idea supporting details. We have main idea supporting details with a dupe answer, and then a main idea with 3 supporting details. But we're going to go ahead and use this one, and we're going to adjust the size of that to 450 by, oh, it's the right size. We're going to update it, and we can grab it and drag it, and that looks pretty good. So now this is an active widget, so we're going to deselect it, and now we're going to do find our drop zones, and a drop zone widget is right here. We're going to call the first one main idea, and remember that's just the name, and we're going to catch one of several, and that's very important because you want students to be able to drag. Well, this one we don't need to catch one of several, sorry, because in this one, this is just the main idea. And we can go over here actually and highlight that one and control copy and click in there, control V, and we want the fill color to be the color that it is, and we want the size to be, for the main idea, we want the size to be 450 wide by 40 high, and we're going to update the widget and we can drag it in. Now if we want it a little bit smaller, while we're at it, we can just go 440. How about that? Probably fit perfectly. There you go. And now all we have to do is deselect. And now we're going to get our drop zones for the next 3 for our supporting details. So we're going to put, this is drop zone 2, so we're going to put supporting detail 1. Now this one we have to put catch one of several, because if you remember, we had 3 choices of supporting details. And if a student found a supporting detail and put it in this box, or this box, we want it to say that yes, it was a correct response. If you don't catch one of several, then only one of the supporting detail sentences would go into each box and be correct. So in this case, we need to catch one of several. And now we're going to put our entries in. Now what I did was, I actually have the passage that I can cut and paste. Some of the sentences I can cut and paste from here. Like one supporting detail is he really cares about one of his students. So we're going to copy and we're going to put that here. And we're going to remember to hit return after each of these. Another supporting idea is that he delivers amazing lessons each day. So we're going to select that, and that's going to be copy, and down here, V. And another one is that let me go over here. He painstakingly marks his students' work and gives the papers back to the students. So we're going to, and I think I'll just go ahead and type that one out because we don't have that one here. And we'll say he painstakingly grades each paper and returns them within 24 hours. And then our other choice is, let me get all these organized. Sorry about that. Here it is. He delivers amazing lessons. Let me see. Okay, delivers amazing lessons. That is 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're done. Now, very important, entry to display. We're going to do the same thing 3 times. Each time, this number has to change. So we're going to put it number 1. We're going to highlight and copy, so you don't have to repeat typing. Copy, entry to display in box 1, so that would be box 1. Fill color, we're just going to make it white. Could be any color you choose. The size of this is going to be 450. or 375, 375, yep, by 40. And we're going to update the widget. And here we have our first box. If you wanted to make it a slight different color, like maybe a light yellow, we update the widget and there you go. But we'll just keep it white for this time. And now we have to deselect and we get another drop zone. We're going to call this SD2 and we're going to catch one of several. We're going to paste our 3 supporting details. We're going to say that this is going to be box number 2. We're going to say that it's white. The height and width will be 375 and 40. Update widget and drag it into place. And it's white. Deselect. And this one for some reason stayed yellow, so let's fix that before we forget. And we're going to select that one and it's active and we have to turn it to white. I think I forgot to update widget is the problem. Now we come back to the top and deselect it. And now let's get our third drop zone and that'll be SD3 for supporting detail 3. We want catch one of several. We're going to paste. This will be box 3 and the fill color is white and the width is 375 by 40. Update the widget and deselect and we're almost done. We just have to let the students know that this is just an extra box. So we're going to go to the regular text box and click it and we're just going to say sentence, and remember we can put anything there as long as we remember what it means, and we're going to say this space not needed, period. And that's going to be static. We're going to keep that so that when the answers go into the answer bank, this space not needed won't fly into the answer bank also. And we're going to make that color white. No border. Yeah, let's give it a border, gray. And we'll make the size 18. Black, bold, update widget, and grab it and drag it into the space. Deselect up here. And there's your lesson. Next we save it and it says successfully saved. Okay, and now we try it out. And it says down here, ready to start lesson, please press start. So we're going to press start and there are our choices. And we're going to go ahead and remember we did this on button press for grading method. So I'm going to put Mr. Brown is a great teacher in the wrong place. And the student doesn't know it yet. So he might go, he really cares about his students as the main idea, and then drag the other ones in. And when we hit stop, it shows us that these two are in the wrong spot. And it gives us a score, 50%. And that is the lesson. A student could refresh it and start over, try it again. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy doing some lessons like this on your mentoring account.